This is confidential, and I want to start by being very direct. Most people in this industry are operating with low-level information, and it's costing them everything. They're being told the system works, that if they just try harder, make more calls, stay more as accountable, they'll win. But that's not true. The system itself is broken. And when a system is broken, working harder inside of it doesn't fix anything. It just burns you out faster. This presentation is about seeing that clearly and choosing a different path. One where you stop following the herd and start thinking for yourself. This is Steve Colino, and confidential remarks begin here. What you're seeing here is what I call the accountability trap. The industry tells you that if you're not succeeding, it's because you're not working hard enough. So they sell you coaching, scripts, systems, all designed to push you into doing more of the same thing. More calls, more prospecting, more chasing. But think about it. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, how do you expect a different result? This isn't growth. It's conditioning. You're being trained to behave like a replaceable salesperson instead of building something meaningful. Let's talk about what the industry calls a big idea. Increasing production from 7 deals to 8 deals is not a breakthrough. That's incremental. That's small thinking dressed up to look important. Real progress doesn't come from tiny improvements. It comes from completely rethinking the game. What you're being sold as innovation is just enough improvement to justify the system continuing. And that should bother you because it means no one is actually trying to help you break out. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't actually want to be salespeople. They tolerate it. They script it. They try to optimize it. But deep down, they don't enjoy it. And that creates a contradiction. You're being told to master something that you eventually want to escape from. That doesn't make sense. So the real question becomes this. Do you want to be someone who is constantly chasing business or someone who attracts it naturally? Because those are two completely different lives. If you want a different result, you need a different mindset. Instead of thinking like a salesperson, start thinking like a builder. In Silicon Valley, the goal isn't to chase customers, it's to create something so valuable that people come to you. They focus on building products people love, not forcing conversations people avoid. And in this business, the same principle applies. If you want a breakthrough, you don't just do the same thing better. You create something entirely new. There's a big difference between C-level ideas and great ideas. C-level ideas are incremental. They're safe. They're what everyone else is already doing, just with a little more effort. But great ideas are different. They combine multiple ways of thinking. They create momentum. They build something bigger than a transaction. Instead of chasing clients, great ideas make clients want to be part of what you're building. And that shift changes everything. Here's a hard truth most people avoid. The service you provide is not special. It's a commodity. Anyone can do it. So if you're relying on your service to stand out, you're already losing. The real product is you. Your perspective, your story, your beliefs. People don't follow services. They follow people they trust and connect with. So the goal is not to sell more. The goal is to become someone worth choosing. Most people are told to pick up the phone and chase opportunities. But the people with real influence do the opposite. They create, they write, they share ideas. Because when you do that, you don't have to chase attention. It comes to you. Writing builds trust to scale. It allows you to reach hundreds or thousands of people at once instead of one call at a time. And more importantly, it positions you as someone with something to say, not someone asking for something. This is a perfect example of what happens when someone stops selling and starts building something meaningful. Instead of asking for business, she created an event that people cared about. She shared her story. She connected emotionally. And as a result, people didn't just trust her. They rallied around her. That's the difference between selling and leading. One is transactional. The other creates a movement. In this case, instead of blending in, he took a stand. He exposed problems in the industry. He positioned himself as someone protecting the client, not just serving them. And that changed how people saw him. He wasn't just another option. He became the obvious choice. When you stand for something, people notice. And more importantly, the right people come to you. Every great story has a hero and a villain. And in this industry, the villains already exist. The unethical practices, the bad actors, the broken systems. That creates an opportunity. Because if there's a problem, people are looking for someone to solve it. That's your role. not to sell homes, but to protect people. When you position yourself that way, you stop being a participant in the system and become a solution to it. Your environment shapes your thinking more than you realize. If you're surrounded by people focused on small tactics and short-term wins, you'll start thinking the same way. But if you surround yourself with people building something bigger, your standards rise, your thinking expands, and your actions follow. So this isn't just about strategy. It's about who you choose to be around every single day. At some point, you have to decide who you want to be. You can follow scripts, chase deals, and stay stuck in a cycle that never really changes. Or you can step into something bigger. You can build ideas, attract opportunities, and become someone people seek out. One path is crowded and predictable. The other is harder, but it's where real growth happens. And that decision is yours. This is where it all comes together. You don't need more accountability. You don't need more scripts. What you need is a shift in thinking, a decision to stop playing small and start building something that matters. Because the only things that can't be replaced are your ideas, your character, and your voice. That's what creates real leverage. That's what builds something lasting. So the question is simple. Are you going to keep doing what everyone else is doing? Or are you going to create something people can't ignore? This has been Confidential Remarks.